Breaker 19, you're tuning in only for trucks. Come on back, brother. Please subscribe, brother.
everybody? Hope you're enjoying the video so far. I'm currently sitting in Manhattan, same place I was 2 videos ago, and I thought to myself, like, I'm not going to give you the same route or the same footage or whatever, so of course I try my best to mix it up. And on my way in this morning, I seen some trucks and seen some different things, and it really re-sparked the idea in my mind that I think of every now and again, is that trucking isn't what it used to be. And I think that's something we all know, but it just still blows my mind to experience it. I drive old trucks. I think they're cool trucks. I've driven some cooler ones, some less cool. But if an LTL 9000 or an R model Mac or anything later than, older tthan the 90s, something like that drove past me, like, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm honking the horn, I'm waving, I'm following you to try to have a conversation. Like, that's cool to me. Like, you don't see that, and they're amazing. I drive past people with early 2000s trucks or even new trucks. They don't even look in my direction. Like, it just blows my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I feel that back in the day, people, there was a level of respect and interest in the trucking community and, trucking industry that you rode by somebody, like, you gave them a thumbs up, you gave them a wave, like, that's cool, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like that anymore, and it drives me crazy. These guys ride around, in their brand new trucks, they press that D button, they got sandals on with sweatpants, you catch them in traffic with their feet up like this, with their headset on like they're working at McDonald's and they're eating a sandwich. Like, it's just, put your phone down, man. Like, come on, dude, drive that thing. And I don't get it. Like, I can't agree. And I'm not gonna say that back in the day, people weren't driving for a paycheck or maybe didn't get into trucking for a paycheck, but it's definitely way worse off now. Like, people just, trucking pays this a week, it's good money, I'm going to go to school, and then they can't drive a car to begin with, then they go to school and barely learn how to drive a truck, then they get on the road and it's just a mess. And I've always been like a local driver, construction industry side of things, so I don't really go over the road much. I have a couple times, but not really. Never like hauled over the road for sure. So I know a lot of them get pushed out there, which is better for me because I don't really have to deal with it too much. But it just blows my mind how much they get away with and how much they do. About the only thing I do agree with is the automatic endorsement on the license nowadays, because I'm really glad they can't get themselves into a stick. That'd be scary. But I had some comments of people asking me about driving older trucks and what it's like and some tips and tricks and whatever. And I think I'm going to do a full breakdown video of how, I think it's best to drive an old school or stick shift or whatever you want to consider it. But just a couple key points here to try to remind people of what we need to do to make trucking like halfway decent like it used to be. For one, like, you got to look the part. I'm not asking you to put a vest on like Snowman or have some flannel shirt with some tight jeans and some trucker boots on with a cat hat. I'm not asking you to get that far. But you got to have your pants up, put a belt on, you know what I mean? Have some closed-toed shoes. Like, you're not out here in sandals and flip-flops. Like, that drives me crazy. The sweatpants, lose it. Just don't even show up. Just look half decent. You know what I mean? Look respectable. Look like you care. I think back in the day, people really had pride in their cars, their houses, their outfits, their trucks they drove for work. Like, people cared back in the day. Like, there was a level of loyal. Like, I'm trying to think of the word. Like, there's like a level of like self-care or appreciation for stuff back then. It's not like it used to be. And then another thing would be is like, take pride in your ride. You know what I mean? Like, clean your truck, wash it, polish the thing once in a while. Like, I do it when I have to. Like, if I literally can't have the time to do it, like acid, but like some guys just live by like spraying the aluminum white and rolling it with. Like, I don't like that. Now, this Ford, it hasn't been polished in 20 years. I spent 6 hours on one wheel and it just wasn't really worth it. And I don't think I did it the best way at all. So I don't know when I'm going to get around to polishing this one, especially with some things that are coming up. It might not happen, but I prefer to be pretty shiny and clean as much as I can be. The other thing that gets me is the ignorance out on the roads. Like, guys are out there, running by the ton, or even just don't care, you know what I mean? Like, have no respect for other drivers. Like, you go down the highway, they hang out in the left lane or middle lane, whatever. They screw the whole highway up because they don't know. Another thing that kills me is these guys, governed at 60, governed at 65. They sit down that middle lane and just screw the whole highway up, and I just can't stand it. You know, like, my outlook on it is, like, I give you like 5 seconds, and I get pretty close to you, depending. And if I have to, like, I'm passing on the right. If I really feel the need, I'll pass you on the shoulder. Like, I'm not sitting behind you, you know, because you don't care, or, you know, you just don't pay attention, whatever it is. Like, I'm not suffering because of you. Like, that ain't gonna happen. I just can't do it. I think there's still a few good old school guys out there, and I think there's some new school guys that are good guys and really have the same tendencies as what truckers did back in the day. But it's just so unfortunate that you might run into one of them a month compared to the hundreds of guys that aren't that you're going to see out there. It's borderline upsetting. And that's why I kind of just stick to myself. I roll down the road. Like, I don't have a CB currently. I did, but pulling the headliner stuff, it's all out. I do like to have a CB, and I'll have it on, and I feel like I have to see the person, or like they have to hit me first before I just go out looking for somebody on the channel. Like, I'm not just gonna, you know, ask people if they're out or whatever, just because it's like I feel like it's almost a waste of time. Like, if I'm lucky enough to catch somebody, that's great, but most of the truckers these days I don't really get along with too much. Like, I can't agree with a lot of the things they do and the way they are. And if you're a trucker that you appreciate older stuff or older values, or, you know, you are respectful or, you know, into things like I am, like, it's a totally different story. Like, we could be best of friends. But if you're one of them guys that, you know, jumping in your sandals or sweatpants or a new truck, and you don't understand how a truck works or why a truck does what it does, and you can't drive a stick, or even if you have no interest to learn or get better, like, then I can't really enjoy talking to you. You know, I totally agree. Like, I'm a firm believer that nobody should just jump in a truck and know how to drive it. Like, no, that's not how it works. You gotta learn. But if you pay attention and care just a little bit, you can be such a better driver. Like, you don't have to floor it, you know, like in between gears. You don't have to beat the crap out of the truck and be a cowboy hopping up and down and picking the wheels above the ground out of a light. But guys do it every day, all the time, hard on the brakes, smoking them, locking the tires up because they're in a rush. Like, just slow down, take your time, and take care of the truck. Like, it blows my mind how rough somebody could be. You know, if you need to ride with a little bit of air in the seat to help for comfort, I get it to an extent. But if you think you got to raise the seat all the way up till your head hits the ceiling so you can see the passenger fender, that's, you know, I don't think you're going to make it in the end of the, you know, your trucking career. I don't agree with how that works. I guess I was kind of taught with, like, no air in the seat, but it's also just how I chose the drove as well. Like, I can't get comfortable sitting that high. I can't do it. You know, I prefer a very stationary seat. I don't like the unlocking it and having that roll, like, motion in the ocean kind of slide going on in the seat. I can't do that either. Like I said, I like a very stationary seat. I like to be able to play with my feet and do what I want to do to make the truck drive the way I want it to be. So I can't get down with air in the seats. It's just not my thing. And of course it looks cool. Like, you stick out the window all low, like, yeah, like, that's cool, you know? But again, it's not, I don't do it just to be cool, because you can't do that. Like, best believe if I have to back in somewhere tighter I need to see, I will put air in the seat or stand up or do whatever I have to do, because not making a mistake is most important rather than looking cool. You know, that's first and foremost. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to think of on this subject matter. You guys can hit me in the comments of what I didn't talk about, because I'm sure it's out there. But we're going to have plenty more conversations about old school trucking and why it's so cool. The late 70s is big for me. Like, I think the trucks, the music, the people, I think everything about it was just so cool. And I'm sure they had, like, problems back then just like we do now, but I wasn't there to experience it. But just looking back on the glory days side of it, like, it's sick. Like, I think the 70s were just so cool. Definitely wish I could have been there. And yeah, I think this is a very interesting subject matter as far as, like, where trucking has gone. You know, it's very far from what it used to be. So I'm hoping we can get back to working on the Mac later this week, if not probably over the weekend. Like I said in the last video, all these videos that I put out, they are in, like, consecutive order, and they're in real current time. So usually you guys get a video 2 days after I actually filmed it and, you know, lived it, if you will. So what you're seeing is what I have going on right now. So the only reason there hasn't been another video on the low bed or the Mac is because we haven't touched them since. We did rent a sandblaster, try to set it all up, and our compressor was pushing too much water. It wouldn't, you know, we had issues there, clogging up and stuff. But we think we got that figured out. But like, we haven't done anything on them yet. So we're planning to. We need to get it done by McCungy. It's Father's Day weekend. And I also just wanted to give you guys a rough idea of like what's coming up. I mean, like I told you guys, the merch is huge. I'm beyond excited for that. And that's going to be shirts and stickers, I'm sure. And the other thing is, I'm going to start putting together the video of like my history and, you know, a little background of myself. I'm going to start putting that together this week. I'm going to have plenty of pictures to go through and go through a couple old phones and find some shots and videos I have. Because I've been at it since I was, you know, like 18 or 19 is when I got my CDL. And I took my test, and the next day I was moving equipment on a low bed. You know, I've been around trucks since I was a little kid. I used to ride shotgun with my dad. He used to move equipment and stuff. And where I grew up, you know, it was pretty much a construction yard. Like, we lived in the center of the yard in a house. So, and growing up, my house was in the center of a construction yard. So, like I said, there was R models everywhere. Like, I grew up around R models, playing inside of them, everything else. So, that's one of the reasons why R models are my favorite truck. Like, they just, I don't know, the look of them, the shape of them, they're cool. They're so cool. And I've been around them since I was a little kid. So, yeah, there's plenty to be said on that topic as well. I'm really excited to get there. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was something a little different. I thought the morning shots were really cool. New York is nuts in the morning with those lights and all the people. But, yeah, I'll probably give you guys a little shot on the way out just because. And then I'll be seeing you on the next one, which I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm hauling tomorrow or not. So I can't tell you what the next video is going to be. But I'm sure it's going to be something interesting. And I hope you guys enjoy. The channel's just going to keep getting better. The videos are going to keep getting better. And we're all going to grow together. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. Alright guys, well, I'm back here in the yard. Dropped the trailer. I'm ready to rock and roll. I just wanted to thank you guys again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the conversation we had. There's plenty more to come. I'm trying to figure out just how soon I can make it happen. But I want to introduce my dad's cab over to the channel. He has a Mac MH613. Pretty excited to get that thing on here and show you guys what that's all about. And then him and I have something in the works that's going to be hilarious and really good. So I can't wait to share that with you guys as well. So we're going to keep the good content coming, good times rolling. So stay tuned because it's only going to get better. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, brother. Over and out.